I didn't even realize at the time, but this is where everything started to change. Because while I was in that job, feeling stuck, feeling drained, feeling disrespected, I had already made a decision. I was leaving. Even while I worked there, I never stopped looking for other jobs. I never stopped because I knew I didn't belong there. I was still going on interviews, still looking through the classified ads, still asking everybody I knew, even those I did not know, if they knew of any available jobs. I kept searching. I didn't stop. I never gave up because I knew I didn't belong in that household. I didn't belong working for that family. So I kept on. I kept looking until finally someone I knew called and told me that they knew someone who's looking for a nanny. I got so excited. Then she told me they're looking for a living nanny. And I got deflated because I did not want to go through what I was already going through, being a living nanny. And to be honest, I was scared because I'm in this awful situation, living in with a family. I do not want to walk into another bad situation. But she told me they were good people. And she's from where I come from. And she worked next door to where they lived. So she told me she's seen them, she's seen their interaction, she's seen their movements. They are very nice people from what she's seen of them and what she knows about them. So she believed she knew well enough to say that they were good people. So I believed her. The only thing was they were away on vacation. So she couldn't let them know right at the time when she told me that she had somebody in mind for them, or to go and ask them if they're still looking because they're away. And I kept reminding her, please don't forget to check when they get back. Please don't forget to check when they get back. This is how desperate I was to get out of the situation I was in. And when they finally returned from their vacation, she went to them. She told them about me. She also informed them that I was from the same country that she's from, and that mattered. In the nannying world, there is nothing that matters more than when a family see the way you work and you come and recommend somebody to them that is from where they're from. Just on the way you work and conduct yourself, they'll hire this person without even meeting them. In the nanny world, that's how it works. You're a good nanny, you do what you're supposed to do, you take care of these kids. Your word is king. That's it. You recommend somebody, that's it. Because when people see how someone works, it gives them comfort to trust another. And that's the nannying world for you. So while I was still in that job, I did not leave. I did not leave yet. There's a saying, a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. I was not going to let go of something that I already have, no matter how bad it was, and it was bad. No matter how much disrespect, how much unkindness I was going through in that house. I was not going to leave until I knew where I was going. No. Impossible. I was going to hold on until I found something else, because I was desperate. I went for the interview, I remember clearly, on a Saturday, because remember I shared with you guys that I lived in Monday to Friday. My weekends were free. I got on the train, and this family was 20-25 minutes out of New York City. And I have to say, something happened, even on the train ride to go to this interview. Something felt different. I cannot explain it. I'm not sure if it's the prospect of something new or just the prospect that things are happening. There is movement, that you're not feeling like you're stuck. That at least, even if you don't get the job, but there are eyeballs on you. Things are happening. It's moving. But there was an excitement in my heart. And whilst I was on that train, I prayed. I thanked God. I thanked God for my friend. And I remember clearly, I was sitting by the window of the train because I was still new to the country. So anywhere I was traveling on the train, I would always try to position myself near the window. So when you're sitting by the window, as the train is making the stops, yes, you know what stop you have to get off on, because they'll give you directions. My friend gave me directions. The people I was going to interview with also gave me directions. But I just took comfort in sitting next to the window. So as the stops are coming up, you can already see the stops, if that makes sense. I don't know, I will encourage anybody to do that. If you're in a foreign country and you have to travel on a train and you don't really know where you're going, don't put yourself in the middle of the seats or in the middle where you cannot see where you're going. I would always sit near the windows. So as the stops are coming by, I would see. So I would know, okay, after this stop, it's my stop. So I have to get ready, get my stuff together so I can get out. If that makes sense. So as that train is going, I'm getting more excited. I'm getting anxious also. But I felt something was different. As the train pulled up, and I'm saying that I'm getting emotional. As the train is pulling up to my stop, I saw this lady standing on the platform with this little boy, and he was about 3 years old. And the train is still pulling up, so they haven't seen me, they don't know me. As a matter of fact, they have no idea what I look like. So this lady and this little boy are standing on the platform. And for some reason, I just knew these were the people I was going to meet. Don't ask me, I don't know what about their body language, or if it's because they kept looking as the train is pulling up onto the platform, they're looking into all the windows. like they expecting somebody. I don't know if that's what it was. So I knew that's the people I was going to meet. And this lady is standing there with this little boy. And I remember clearly she had a pink shirt on. And the little boy, I think, had a striped shirt with a navy shorts. I don't even know why, after so many years, that I still remember that. That goes to show the impact and where these people took me out of. And this lady has the biggest smile on her face. And the train is still pulling up. I can see she has the biggest smile on her face, like she knows whoever is coming on the train is seeing her. I don't know. And the little boy is standing there and he's jumping up and down on the platform, up and down, like he already knew. Maybe his parents told him about me and he's excited. So she's standing there on the platform holding his hand because it's the train platform, with the biggest smile on her face, and the little boy is just jumping up and down in excitement. And my heart, guys, my heart just felt like you are home without even meeting these people yet. Something in my heart just felt at peace. The train finally came to a stop and I got off the train. And as soon as I got off the train, we made eye contact at the same time. And this lady had the most genuine smile on her face. And this little boy is just jumping up and down, up and down. They walked towards me. I walked towards them. Like we don't even know each other, but at the same time, it's like we know this is who you had to meet. This is who you had to meet. Guys, it was just so strange. And I'm saying all that to say that God will not leave you where you're not supposed to be. He will always take you out. He will always take you out of a bad situation. I got in the car with them. We started talking just like we've known each other for forever. And we went to the house and I sat with them, and it didn't even go like an interview. It just went like friends who hadn't seen each other for a long time and we're catching up again. I just felt at peace. I just felt that finally, God, I thank you. Because even if this situation is a living situation, it will not be the same. I knew it, and I didn't even know these people, because people can show you what they want to show you on the outside, and behind closed doors, it's something else. But I felt it. I knew I was where I was meant to be. I was offered the job on the spot. Guys, when I tell you I was offered the job on the spot, they didn't ask me who's my mother, who's my father, who's my uncle, who's my cousin. No. They hired me on the spot because they saw me. And I thank God, I credit my friend because of who she was to the family that she was working for. Helped these people to hire me on the spot. And that's the nanny world. They trust one person recommend another person, the job is good as yours. I've been there. I've been out of the nanny world for years. And people will still call me for recommendations. People will still call me for recommendations if I know a nanny. Will still to this day. Because they trust me. They trust my judgment. I accepted the job. Monday morning, I went back to my job. Yes. Guys, remember I said a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. I would not leave my job until I started this new one. What if I didn't return to my old job and then this family called and said, oh, we no longer need you, or we hired somebody else? Yes, they hired me, but they can change their minds. What's preventing them from changing their minds? I have no formal written contract with them. So I went to my job. As miserable as I was, I went back to my job. I stayed 1 more week. And it was the longest week of my life. I remember clearly that Friday, I packed what little clothing I had, because I didn't go there with much. I just went there with enough of what I needed for the 5 days that I was there. And something happened that last Friday I was there that I will never forget. Every Friday, the dad would be the one to drive me to the train station. And on Monday mornings, I would just take a taxi from the train station to the house. It was just maybe 7 minutes. But it was a little ways in walking distance. That day was no different. He's always been the one to take me to the train station. I don't even know that the wife could drive, because I had never seen her behind the wheel of a vehicle. So the car would be in the garage and we would get on there and then we would drive off. Took my belongings, my little bag. I went to the garage. I got in the car. When I got in the car, he was already in the car behind the wheel waiting for me. As soon as I got in the car, he said, give me a minute, I'll be right back. I didn't make anything of it. I figured, oh, maybe he's going to use the bathroom, or maybe he forgot something. I don't know. But I didn't make anything of it. He went into the house. He came back a few minutes later. He got back behind the wheel. And out of the blue, he asked me, are you leaving the job? I was shocked. I nearly peed myself. I looked at him. He repeated, are you not coming back? I looked at him and I asked, why do you think that? He looked at me dead in my eyes. And he said, because I noticed you took all of your clothes. Guys, I nearly passed out. That's how shocked I was. In that single moment, everything hit me. This man has been checking my room every Friday. As I'm leaving every Friday, he's been checking my room, and I never noticed it. But every Friday when I got in the car, he would go back inside. But I just never made anything out of it. How could I? It's his house. He can go in and out as he pleases. I never saw it. I was being watched. I was being spied on. They were going through my things. my personal effects. In that moment, I got so angry. I looked at him and I asked, "Are you spying on me?" Right to his face. He didn't answer. So I said, if you treat people the way they are supposed to be treated, you never have to worry if they're coming back or not. It's because you know you're not doing the right thing. That's why you're so worried that every Friday I leave that I won't come back. That you feel the need to check every time I leave. That's the only reason you check in. And I said to him, I'm not leaving. The weather is starting to warm up and the clothing I have, they're too warm. So I'm taking those home and I'm going to bring lighter clothing when I'm coming back on Monday. Because when I started, it was still very cold. It was still, some days you would still get a little snow. So I had sweaters and that kind of thing. And truthfully, the weather was starting to get nice and look up and it was starting to warm up. So my excuse was right on par. That was it. I said goodbye to him. I got on the train, never to return. I did not call them. I gave them no notice. I gave them no explanation. At this point, I felt that I owed them nothing. It didn't end there. There was something else that made me realize just how much I had escaped. I had met a girl once on the train, and she worked in the same area. She wanted to exchange numbers, which I was never for because I was not too comfortable doing that. But she insisted. She's like, oh, we always go to the park. We're going to take the kids. And since you knew, maybe you can take your kids. We can meet up. You know, we can let them play and then let them get to know each other. And then we can get to know each other. So she gave me her number. Then I also gave her the number for the house. At that time, I did not have a cell phone. So I gave her the number for the house. And then I took her number. She called, if I remember clearly, only once, one time. And she said she was going to the park, whether I wanted to bring the kids and we could meet there and so on and so forth. And I said to her, because I had already seen how this household ran. I had never taken these kids out. We had never even gone to the driveway to play. We had never even gone anywhere. So I had already figured out how these people live their lives in isolation. So I knew they were not going to agree to me taking the kids on a playground and in a neighborhood I do not even know. Whether they dropped me off or not, which they would have had to because I didn't drive at the time. So I said to her, no, I don't think they'll allow, because I've never seen them, you know, quietly I said to her, I've never seen them bring these kids to playground, and besides, they are both home. So if they need to take their kids to the playground, we will all go together because the mom is home, the dad is home. If they take kids to the playground, we will just go to the playground together, not let me then I go to the playground alone with the kids. Like, to me, I didn't see it. So I said, no, that's not going to work, but we'll keep in touch. And that was it. And remember, guys, I said that was only one time, the only time that this girl ever called the house in connection with Playdate or in connection with me. She never called me back. In that household, I never called her from that household, ever. But somehow, that one call that I received from her, these people recorded the number or wrote it down, or I don't know. So somehow they saved that number. Why they would do that, I still do not understand to this day. Just that one time that this person called, they thought it wise to save that particular number. She didn't call me twice. She didn't call me 3 times. She didn't call me 4 times. Only one time. And they were, let's save that number quickly. When I didn't return that Monday, they called that number, which was her job, because she was also a living nanny. They spoke to her bosses, because they were the ones who answered the phone, asking about me and saying that I did not come back to work. Why this is any of the people's business, I don't know. But this is what they did. Her bosses called her and asked her, who is this person, how, asking about me. And she's like, oh, I don't know. I only met her on the train and we exchanged numbers because I thought she's new in the neighborhood. We would ask her on play dates, and that's as far as it went. That was it. When she called to tell me that these people called, I almost shit my pants. I was shaken to my core to know that one time someone called you, one time, and for these people to be thinking, let's quickly save that number for if in case she leaves, I don't know. That's when I knew I got out at the right time. Because who knows what the situation could have turned into. And that's when everything changed. Not just my situation, but the way I saw people, the way I saw myself. I realized I couldn't stay in survival mode forever, because surviving is not the same as living. And I wanted more. Not perfect, not easy, but different. Have you ever had a moment like that, where something happens and you just know you can't go back? Let me leave you with a little island wisdom. Where I come from, we say, 1 cocoa full basket. And that just means little by little, step by step, everything starts to come together. And that's exactly how my life started to change. If you haven't watched the other parts, start there. It will all make sense. It all starts from part 1.